Hi everyone, it's Robin. I have a tutorial to share with you today. I'm asked quite regularly how I go about mailing or giving or sending dimensional cards, and so I was mentioning that I use a couple of different options. Not that this is very dimensional, but I recently posted one that was. And so one of the options is to create a custom gift box for that, and they're so simple. I'm just going to go ahead and show you really quickly how easily it is for you to customize boxes to give your dimensional cards. Now this particular card is about 5 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, but I switched my card sizes, my standard that I like to do, to 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to create a card like for that size. Now what you do is you take a durable cardstock. It doesn't have to be this one. This is just what I'm using. It's by Canvas, and I picked this up at Hobby Lobby when it was half off. It is quite expensive. Regular price is $10, and I'm not sure you would actually need that. Poster board would work very, very, very well. Of course, that's kind of expensive too, but you want something that's a little durable. And basically what you do is you take the size of your card, add about 1/8 of an inch, and then add 2 inches. So the card that I'm doing, I'm actually going to cut two, you need 2 pieces of cardstock. And so the first one, we're going to make the lid. And it's important to know, to keep these separated until you get them folded. Just to kind of save yourself a little frustration. So the card that I'm doing is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2, but I'm going to add some tissue paper, so I'm going to add that extra 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 8. So it would be 5 1/2, and then the 2 inches I said, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, and then the extra 1/2 an inch for the lid. So 8 by 8 is what I'm going to do the lid. So let me just cut that, and I save the scraps for stamping out sentiments, and then you can punch them with your punches or cut them with your dies. So again, this is the top of the card, and for a 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 inch card with tissue, I'm cutting it to 8 by 8. This one's set aside. This is the lid. Okay. Now the next one, which is the bottom, just needs to be a tiny bit smaller than that. So I'm going to do 7 7/8, and 7/8 is just the larger line just before the 8. If you have a trimmer like mine, or that sections it off in 1/16, 1/8, and then the 1/4 inch. So 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. And this is going to go ahead and be our card base, or the box base, the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to set my trimmer aside, and this is where a scoring tool will come in handy. And I picked up this Martha Stewart one many months ago when it was half off at Joann's. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to score it. You can do this in a paper trimmer. You're going to score it 1 inch all the way around. So just 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, you get the idea. So this is our box bottom. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pick up my top again. I'm going to do the same with that. That's actually not it, that's scrap. Okay, so this is the 8 1/2 by 8, or 8 by 8 one. So 1 inch, again, doing the same thing. That way it's going to give you 1 inch walls, which will compensate for the dimension of your card in most cases. Okay, so again, setting the top aside. I don't want to get these two mixed up. Not that it's that huge a deal, but just to keep things super simple. Okay, so I'm done with my scoring tool. Now I'm going to need scissors and a bone folder. And so a lot of you know how to make boxes, so this will be all review for you, or just kind of different, just technique wise. So I took the one facing me, let me zoom out a little bit. The one facing me with the score lines, and then the one facing away from me. Those are the ones I'm going to cut on the score line here. See, that's all I'm going to do. Just make a slit right up to the 1 inch score line here. See? So this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just the total opposite side. Okay. Now you could go ahead and do the box top right now, but for the video, just to keep these two separate, I'm going to do it like this. So this is what you have. You have the ones facing you and then the ones directly opposite. Okay, now you're going to score all your score lines and burnish those. That's my hubby calling. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. When hubby calls, I don't like to just ignore it. Okay, so now that you have your, I didn't do this one. Now that you have your scores all done, you flip in all of your little tabs. Okay, I guess it would help if I didn't have a white background. Let me go ahead and move my grid paper. Okay, does that make it easier? I think so. Okay, so you have all your score lines and they're going to look like this. Okay, and then your little tabs are pushed in. Now you're going to add adhesive to this one. When you fold it back, you're going to actually add it to the top then. And you want to use a strong adhesive. I do not like red line tape because I can't stand the extra sticky, the static on the red liner. But I just ran out of score tape yesterday, and I've been working on some mini albums, so I went through a lot of it. And maybe toward the end I'll give you a sneak peek of a mini I'm working on. We'll see how the time goes. I'm trying to do this quick because I know you guys, you get a lot of videos in your queue some days, and I don't want to just drag this on. But I do appreciate you watching, and I hope this is a help to those of you that wonder about this. And like I said, I do get questions quite regularly about it, so I thought, well, I would just post one. And again, this is just one of the options to create a custom gift box. Now, I mailed one out today in one of these boxes that I made. And it literally, I mean, when I'm not doing a tutorial, it takes me about 5 minutes to do a box. So they come together quite quickly. But, and then I just put it in another bigger box, like a smaller pizza box or something. Or you could even put it in a padded envelope, depending on the sturdiness of your cardstock here. Okay, but I decorated the box too, so. Oh, see what I mean about the static on these? I need to go to I Break for Stamps and get some more score tape. So, okay, so this is our base. We're going to set this aside now and then work on the top. Again, you could have done this all at once, but for the video, to avoid confusion, I'm just going to do the slits. You're going to repeat the same thing. Again, the only difference between the box base and the lid is 1/8 of an inch, and that's just so your lid fits nicely over your base. If they're the same size, then it won't slide on easily. Okay, again, we're going to just burnish the score lines here. I know I'm moving kind of fast, so if you have any questions, just ask in the comments section, and I would be very, very happy to help you. Again, we're folding in just the little tabs, and we're folding those up. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like this. And you're going to add your adhesive again to the flaps. Now, these flaps are folded in when you're adding the adhesive, just like on the base. You could use probably a glue dot, I would imagine, would work okay too. But it goes together really quick anyway, even though. Another thing about the score tape I like is you can tear it. You don't have to stop and pick up scissors every minute. Less than a minute. Okay. Alright. And I picked this up from Jody a couple years ago. I don't have her website offhand, but she sells the dark dimensionals and stuff. But again, I really don't like the red line tape, so I don't really use it. But I'm down to the bare bones of adhesive right now, so I just had to put in an order with Tape Depot. And like I said, I got to run over to the I Break for Stamps website and pick up my score tape. They seem to have the best deal on it. I'm not just saying that as a plug because I designed for them, but you know, I do get a discount, which you know I pass on to you guys. Save 10 Robin. And so with the discount, it's the best price that I've found with it. So here's your box base, and here's the lid. Let's just test it out and see how it fits. Perfect. Now you can actually decorate the top, and I've gotten that ready. See, just because this card, now this doesn't match with the paper, and this isn't the card I'm actually going to put in here, but just because I need to make a card for my mom, from my kids, coming up for my mom's birthday, and or Mother's Day, both actually, I decided to go ahead and do the grandma theme with this and smile. And this is Webster's Pages paper. So basically, I just did it like you would a card topper. Just stick that on there. Okay, and then there is your custom gift box. And let me go ahead and, oh, conveniently I have some tissue here, so let's see how that fits. You can add tissue for these, or you can use the clear cello bags. Now this, I left room to put in a clear cellophane bag. And again, I made this box to fit a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card. But you could do that and then, you know, add a bow or ribbon or something. But just super simple. And then you have a card box. Now this would fit in a padded envelope. I would only do that if this cardstock was sturdy enough, because those postal employees, bless them, I appreciate them, but they're not always the most careful with things. So I would add this to a box. But if you're hand delivering it, this is really, you know, it's a nice gift box. But then I do have the 6.5 by 6.5 inch cellophane self-sealing bags that I also like to use. So anyway, I hope this tutorial has been helpful to you. And I hope you give these boxes a try. Again, it's just the dimension of your card, whatever that would be, plus 1/8 of an inch, and then plus 2 inches. And those 2 inches are to compensate for these walls. The box base is 1/8 inch cut smaller, squared, than your lid, just so it slips on really easily. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, please ask. Have a great day. Bye-bye.